Every string of gear we set has two ends with the baited longline gear running between them. Each of these ends has a flagpole and buoy bags that float on the surface. These are connected to the buoy line on each end and an anchor on each end. The anchor secures the gear to the bottom. For sablefish, a very deep water fish, which live from about 250 to 500 fathoms, or 1,500 to 3,000 feet, we obviously have to use enough line to allow the anchor to get to the bottom. For halibut, which live from the shallows out to only about 200 fathoms, or 1,200 feet normally, we have to use much less buoy line. This set is for sablefish, and the line we're throwing out now probably is about 500 fathoms.
Anchor!
This orange line we call running line. It goes from the anchor to the first of the baited gear. We use it to make sure we don't get any hooks snarled on the anchor.
First aid!
These hooks are 39 inches apart and baited with pieces of herring. We also use squid for sablefish bait. The boat is traveling at about 5 to 6 knots. Here we are setting halibut gear. The bait is salmon. We also use Pacific cod, pollock, or herring for halibut bait. These hooks are 9 feet apart and bigger than the hooks on the sablefish gear. Each of these sections of line is called a skate. We set anywhere from just a few to 30 or 40 skates in each string. Our sablefish skates are 100 fathoms long, or 600 feet, and our halibut skates are 125 fathoms long, or 750 feet. You've probably noticed by now that most of this footage is shot in excellent weather. The reason for this is obvious. Our camera is not waterproof. Most of the time, the conditions are more like the very first few frames of this video. The regulations of the International Pacific Halibut Commission require that we retain only those fish over 32 inches in length. Those fish that are under that length are immature fish who haven't had a chance to reproduce yet. It's in our best interest to release these fish carefully so we can catch them next year and catch their offspring many years from now. This fish is a Pacific cod. Under the rules for our individual fisherman's quota, or IFQ system, we have to keep not only all legal-sized fish we catch for which we have quota, either sablefish or halibut, we also have to keep all Pacific cod and rockfish, unless the quotas for those species have been reached, or unless those species have been put on a bycatch status. Under bycatch status, we are required to keep all those fish up to a certain percentage of our total catch. Normally, though, with the fleet spread out as much as it is over an 8-month IFQ season, we are able to focus on the grounds of our target species with very little bycatch of other species. Most of the small amount of Pacific cod we do catch, we use for bait. What you just saw was halibut fishing. This is sablefish fishing. The hooks are smaller, closer together, and the fish are much smaller. We also use a different setup on the deck with a hook stripper or crucifier to pull the fish off the hooks and let the fish slide into a pen or checker before we dress them. Both northern fulmars and sperm whales seem especially attracted to the sablefish part of our operation. The northern fulmar is by far the most common bird we see near the boat while fishing. As you will see later, they feed in a pack on the discarded sablefish heads and work into a frenzy day or night. They especially go for the livers, a natural source of concentrated calories. The sperm whales seem to feed on the heads as well, after the birds have worked the heads over and the heads have begun to sink. Some boats have had sperm whales take sablefish right off the gear, but we have seen very little evidence of that on our boat. Once again, we're halibut fishing. Instead of the one hook per coil we have while fishing sablefish, we have a hook every 3 coils. Here the coiler finishes coiling his own skate. The next coiler steps in while the first man pulls his skate out of the way and unties the knot. Then he carries it back to the baiting bench to bait it. The most essential skills of a longliner are proper coiling, so gear is easy to bait, and proper baiting, so the gear doesn't go out in a snarl when we set. He also has to learn how to do it fast, and in all kinds of weather, not just when it's sunny and flat calm.